website maintenance, but really important things. So I just wanted to take this moment to go through a few of these things that if you are not doing already today, often, then you might want to pay attention to it. So if you're not following us already, please make sure to follow us on our different networks. We're on LinkedIn, YouTube, X, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, we should be there. Just search for at Perez-Carreno in most of these networks, or you can find the Web Talk Show as well. So let's get into it. There are various topics within this scope, and I'm not going to go into everything, but we're maybe backups, plugin updates, checkout flows, etc. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, just because I see it more often than not that people are not doing these things. And I want you to think about it as the same as you would think your office, your home, your car. You purchase it, you maybe put some money into building it, into getting equipment, into getting everything ready. You don't just leave it there. The website is the same. You could, if it's well built, it will probably stand the test of a few years. And I've seen many websites, especially some we build, that have seen the test of time. And that's, okay in the sense that, well, great, it was well built, it'll last. But that's not the only thing. The only thing sometimes we look at is it up? Is it working? Or maybe even if it's too fast. But that's not the whole story. And that's what I want to talk about today. When you have a website, especially if we're talking about a business website, there are a few things that you must be looking at every so often just to make sure that everything is running as expected and it's actually bringing in business. So, one of those things that is very important is backups. So, if you don't know what this means, pay attention. A backup is basically a copy of your website that can be automatically generated every day or every so often. So, depending on where you have your website hosted, it could already be getting automatic backups daily, and that's good. You want something like that. There's another thing called manual backups, and a manual backup is when you decide to make a copy for yourself. Let's say you are doing a big change on the website. Create a backup first. And most well known hosting providers will give you the option of doing one-click backups. So if you're using a fantastic host like Big Scoots, for example, you'll have that option very simple in their WPO panel where you could just say backup. Kinsta does the same, WP Engine does the same. This just gives you peace of mind in case something tragic happens to the site. There's a backup there to come back to. And that is just a hosted backup in the server. So why do we want a backup? Why are we talking about this at all? Sometimes things happen and a backup allows you to be able to restore the website to wherever it was at that point in time. So let's say you're going to do a lot of plugin updates on your website, if it's a WordPress type website or any platform that uses plugins. Well, creating a backup beforehand is good practice. It's just a way for you to have, again, that peace of mind that if something were to go wrong, you can revert to that one. So if your hosting provider doesn't do it automatically daily, then ask them if they can add that for you, because it's really a lifesaver. I haven't had to use one in a very long time, but it's good to have it. And then also, again, you can go in and create manual backups. And a manual backup is a good idea to do with a manual backup, not only to keep it there, but also to download it. Because if you download a manual backup to your computer or to a drive, it's another safeguard in case that hosting provider goes down, it disappears, whatever happens, you have a copy of your site at some point in time. Some people don't have backups at all for many years, except the ones in the cloud, and then something happens or they lose access to their account, whatever, they don't have a way to recover it. So make sure you have a backup either on the cloud, on your machine, ideally both, and make sure you have daily backups being created. Now, another thing that's really important is plugin updates, especially if you have a WordPress type website. You have to make sure every so often you go in and check which plugins need updates, especially if there are any that have vulnerabilities, and it'll say it there in the dashboard depending on which tools you're using. If you use WordFence, for example, or PatchStack, they'll let you know if there's a vulnerability, and some hosting providers will as well. So make sure you update those. Create a backup, like I said, just good practice overall. And it's good to keep plugins updated. Just don't go YOLO and update everything just for the sake of keeping all the updates happy. Check if the updates make sense. Maybe ask someone who knows a little bit about it before you do those updates, because some updates unfortunately do have breaking changes. They shouldn't, but it happens, especially if you have many plugins on your site and they might interact with each other in weird ways. So that's something to consider as well. Perhaps for plugin updates, having someone to help you with that is a good idea. Now, another big one, and this one came up this weekend, test your checkout flows often. So if you don't have a full test suite, just running tests because you have a team, etc., do it manually at least, because this weekend my wife was going to order something from a store and she found everything she needed and she got everything in the cart. She was ready and the checkout doesn't work. So you can go to the checkout and you can put your shipping information and everything. And once you go to the payment section, it just doesn't load. And there was a 500 error, server error there. So something was broken in their code. And I expect, because of the size of that store, that they were losing many thousands of dollars every minute because that was broken. And there was no live chat because it was a Sunday. There was no way to reach your team. I sent them an email, nothing. So yeah, that's going to be tough. So make sure you test your checkout flows regularly, even if you have to just create a little manual coupon for yourself to set the price lower. So if you don't want to spend the money on those tests, that's fine. The checkout flow will still work. Just make sure that it works. Again, I've seen it happen on live stores, even big stores, and you could be losing a lot of money if you're not sure that your checkout flow is working. So be sure to test that out. The other thing I want to talk about is performance and security. So security-wise, make sure you have a firewall on your site, especially nowadays. There's tons of bots everywhere, and they're always scouring the internet trying to find sites with known vulnerabilities. So again, coming back to the plugins, make sure your plugins are up to date, but also having a good firewall on your site is a very good idea, just so you protect yourself against these random attacks or even directed attacks. Firewalls are good. WordFence is a good one. The Sucuri, there's many others. Reach out to us if you want information about how all this works, but it's a good idea to start researching about it, especially, again, nowadays. We've always had a ton of bots, but now with all the AI and LLMs, bots can do so much more, so much faster. You have to be prepared. And then performance. Also, again, plugins, maybe don't have too many plugins if not completely necessary. That's something to consider. Just have plugins for things that you actually need plugins for. Talk with someone who actually knows about this and see if maybe you may have too many plugins, or maybe you have plugins that you don't need because they're no longer needed because now maybe that feature is already part of the system. So if you have any questions about any of these, please reach out to us directly. Just find us at Perez-Carreno and most of the networks. Just send me a message. I have DMs open. So please reach out if you have any questions about this. But again, just if you're just coming in, watch the recording. I was just going briefly over a few of the things that one should be looking at if you own a business website or have a website for your business, just to be on the safe side. And it might be a little bit of a boring issue, but at the end of the day, totally necessary. And if you don't have the technical skills to do it, you can hire someone to help you with that. Again, if you're interested, we're here to help you as well. So that was it for the Web Talk Show for today. I'll log in a little later and talk to you soon. If you haven't, like and subscribe, and we'll talk again soon. Cheers.